The White Lake Werewolf? So, my buddy spun me this tale. It's about his old man who decided to spend part of his summer vacation in some quaint little village out in the sticks of the Belozersk district. He had no ties to the place whatsoever, but apparently one of his buddies flashed him some photos of the scenic surroundings, and the old man got all fired up about checking it out. This went down back in '87. He rolled out there solo in his car. Since crashing at someone else's pad wasn't an option, he planned ahead and set up camp in a one-person tent. He pitched his Lone Ranger camp, not smack dab in the village itself, but a couple 100 meters out by the lake, trying not to cramp the local style. 3 days passed without incident. Nobody bothered him at all. But then one evening, right as the sun was setting, some random old-timer showed up. Struck up a conversation with him. Turns out, the old geezer didn't swing by out of sheer curiosity. He came to warn my buddy's dad about the danger lurking out there. At first, the tourist thought the old coot was just some local loony when he started spouting off about werewolves. I mean, back then, Uncle Alex only read about those monsters in fairy tales. So, he tried to brush off the whole thing as a good-natured joke. Like, hey, if that critter comes at me, I got an axe. I'll take it down and make a coat out of its hide for the missus. But the old man was dead serious and insisted on bunking with him during the upcoming full moon. Couldn't persuade the traveler, though, so the old-timer skedaddled. As Alex later told his kin, his gut was churning with unease. The old man didn't seem crazy, just stirred up. But then again, he thought about his car. If there were any dangerous predators prowling around these parts, ones that might come after a person even beyond the woods, he could always hunker down in his ride. And if things got really hairy, he'd just hightail it out of there till morning. So Alex went back to minding his own business by the lakeshore. But as the sun dipped below the horizon, 2 more locals sauntered up to him, a woman and a teenage girl. During their chat, they offered him a bed for the night at their place, citing a dangerous werewolf that had been lurking around the village during full moons for the past 2 years. They even recounted an attack on a tardy local who was saved by his dogs. He described this beast walking on 2 legs. At first, my friend's father thought that maybe he had interfered with the inhabitants of the area by his uninvited arrival, and that was why they were driving him away from his native land with such frightening tales. But on the other hand, the man had given them no such reason, and the people's concern was genuine. So Alex agreed to spend the night in the village cottage. He packed up all his stuff from the tent into his car, locked it up, and followed the ladies. On the way, they bumped into an old lady who praised the woman for bringing the young man along instead of leaving him alone by the shore. When they reached the yard, the hostess unleashed a barking mutt from the kennel and ushered it inside, pointing it out to Alex. That's how we're staying safe now. They gave him a spare room, and he crashed there till morning. After thanking the hostess for her hospitality over breakfast, he hurried back to his fortress. But when he got to the shore, he found his tent torn to shreds. The rear door of his car had been busted open with what seemed like inhuman force, and scattered around were torn-up tin cans of canned meat and fish, which the tourist kept in his backpack. Basically, someone had themselves a feast. Gathering up all that mess into his trunk, he made tracks out of that scenic spot and back home as fast as he could. That's the story my buddy told me once, and I remembered it when I visited Belozersk this summer.